Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Steve Down, and this is my guitar. It's been a while, but I am back. I'm in a new house out the country, which is really nice. I've been spending a lot of time renovating this place, and then I went on tour to America with Joss Stone. So it's been a little while, but I am still raring to finish this series. So we're on episode 7 now, looking at West Coast blues. And this week, we're going to take a look at a crazy part of the octave solo. So I've actually slowed the whole thing down a little bit. I mean, if I'm completely honest, I struggle to keep up with the tempo that he's playing it at, but I will publish it when we do the full transcription. I'll publish it at the original tempo. Anyone who wants me to slow the entire thing down, though, please do give me a shout. Just drop me a DM and I can do that for you. But from my quaint little cottage in the country, I'm going to be getting these videos out to you regularly from here on until I go back on tour in September. So yeah, this week taking a look at some more arpeggios, a little bit of kind of flighty thumb work from Wes as well in the right hand, and how to kind of manage that and how to warm up and how to get a little bit quicker. So we're going to be looking at some subdivisions straight off the bat in a minute. And then, yeah, lots of arpeggios, a few scales in there as well, and some talk about phrasing as well. So, yeah, all that to come. First, to say a big thanks to my Patreon supporters. Still keeping going, even when I do have to take a small little break to do a tour. So thanks, guys, for your support. Just to say a big thanks to the people who signed up in the last 2 months. I've got a list. Only Patreon gives me a list of the last month. So thanks for signing up. Jason, Raul, T. Bomas, Robert, Roderick, Pluto, Edward, Andreas, JB, Michael, Jazz, Matthew, Elijah, Adam, and another Eduardo. So, yeah, if you want to join the growing family over on Patreon, then please do go to the link that is here at the bottom of the screen and also in the show notes at the bottom. And there you can find the backing track, you can find the full transcription up to where we've got to. You can find all of the chord, arpeggio, scale, exercise and example packs over there as well. And you can find some extras in there as well. And do remember, it's not just this series, it's every series that's on my YouTube channel is there. So that's just tier 1 for £3 or $3 a month. If you go up a tier, then you can get a bespoke transcription or bespoke video, and then going up another tier, you can get a lesson with me once a month as well. So do go over to the link that's on the screen and take a look. If you don't want to do a subscription but you want to say thanks, there's a buy me a coffee link below as well in the show notes, and just a like and subscribe and a comment will do it for me as well. If I can help anyone, I like to know about it. So yeah, do pop a comment below. So without further ado, let's get into the tune. So let's take a look at the first 4 bars of the 6th chorus in the solo. Here we go. Okay, so this section here, like I said in the intro, some flighty thumb work here. So you've got to get your right hand thumb up to par here for this stuff. Here is a good exercise for working out subdivisions. In case you don't know, subdivisions are basically how we divide the beat. So if you divide a crotchet, which is a quarter note for you Americans. So if you're looking on the stave, that's the one that has the single stem with the black head. If you divide that in 2, you get a quaver. If you divide that in 2, then you get a semiquaver. Keep dividing and you get demi-semiquavers and hemi-demi-semiquavers. So this exercise here takes you straight down to quavers to begin with. Then it goes to triplets, because Wes likes to use triplets. And then it goes to semiquavers. And then it goes to sextuplets. Now, this is where you fit 6 semiquavers into the space of 1 crotchet or quarter note beat. So 6 16th notes into 1 quarter note, the space of. So with that, you have to listen to the kind of, it's almost like a very fast triplet feel. So listen and have a go at this exercise and then come back. this should help you with some of the things that Wes is doing. When he's playing that little opening passage, he's doing downs and ups. So you've got to practice not just doing downstrokes like he does in the head, but also doing this upstroke as well. So you've got to get onto the side of your thumb on this side, making sure that you don't catch it with your nails. So nice and short nails if you can. And then I would practice, it's almost like strumming. But doing that exercise with the subdivisions will help you to understand the rhythm that he's using, and also to get warm for your right hand in order to be able to play this particular passage. The opening bar, he's literally just on B flat. So there's nothing kind of harmonically complex there. In the next bar, he's just adding in some B flat minor pentatonic ideas. So he's kind of ignoring the A flat on there, because that D flat isn't really part of the A flat chord. So he's kind of ignoring it. It's kind of a nod to the fact that Wes's phrasing is so good that sometimes it doesn't really matter what chord's going on underneath. He can actually play something that would be, considered atonal or tense or chromatic. And all he's doing is he's not thinking, really hyper academic or anything like that, and going, oh, he's playing a fourth over the top of this, and he intended to play a fourth. All he's doing is he's playing something bluesy. He's playing the flat third of B flat because it sounds good, and that's pretty much it. He then goes into something which pops up in D natural blues as well in the next bar, which is where he does this jumping between octaves. So again, something that you might want to practice really slowly. So he's going between this B flat and this B flat here. So I probably stick a metronome on and stick it at something slow like 100 BPM, and then gradually speed it up. This one here is around 135, but it does go up to, I think it's around 150 odd. I can't remember exactly. But I would start off slow and then speed it up. But try all of these different subdivisions just so that you can add some spice into your solo rhythmically, but with really simple melodic ideas. It doesn't always have to be really highly complex. That's one mistake that a lot of junior jazz players make, which is that they think, oh, everything's got to be super, super harmonically complex and academic, and it really doesn't. A lot of stuff can be done really simply by having a really good rhythm, a really crisp rhythm. And some nice tense rhythmic phrases. So try and use this stuff. The last little bar that we've got to here is the 2-5 that doesn't go to a 1. So it's all these descending 2-5. So this one starts in the key of A, but we don't get to the A. So it is the chord of B minor 7 to E7, which we know is the 2-5 of A. Now here, what Wes does is he's got these notes here. So what he's doing here is actually just a lot of stuff that's around the E arpeggio. So there's a lot of chromatic stuff. What he's actually doing here is it's just a load of chromatic stuff based around the arpeggio of E7. So your E7 arpeggio is this. And here's, just for good measure, the B minor arpeggio if you wanted to use that as well. But it's based around that. So he's got some. So there's one of the chord tones. Obviously that's a 9 there, but we consider it kind of chromatic to the chord tone. And then again, those two there are chord tones, but that's the chromatic one. Now that note there, that C sharp here, is really an approach note to the next note, which is in the next bar, which is E flat. So that C sharp or D flat is an approach note. So we wouldn't really consider it part of this analysis of the E7 chord. It would look really complex. We'd probably go, oh, he's playing a 6 over the top of this. When again, he's not really thinking of it as a 6, and that's just too much thought going into that bar. All he's thinking is this is an approach note to the next chord. So it's kind of almost like a 5-1. So yeah, before we move on, let's take a look at what I would do over the top of this, using some of what I've just given you. So here we go. Here's an example. Okay, let's take a look at the next 4 bars in the solo. Here we go. Okay, so this is where we go to the 4 chord, or 4/7, the E flat, and then we start with these descending 2/5s with no 1s. So the first one, as we've done before, is a 2/5 in the key of D flat, and then in the key of C, and then in the key of B. So the first thing to look at is what he does over the top of the 4 chord, the E flat. Now on this, we've got some chromatic approach notes. So here's a good exercise for doing that. Basically, we've taken the arpeggio of E flat 7, and then all we're doing is we are approaching each part with a semitone below. So here's that up close. Now, this adds a little bit of kind of jauntiness, as I'd say in British. It gives you a little bit of tension and resolve. Sounds a little bit like the Pink Panther for a second there. But it's a cool little device that you can use to add a little bit of flair to your solo. So give that a try. Now, in the next parts that we've got, going down in these 2/5s, basically what Wes is doing is he's using some scale tones from each of the major scales. It would be D flat and then C and then B. To begin with, here's the arpeggio of D flat for the first 2/5. And again, you can see lots of chromatic stuff. So all of that kind of stuff there. That's your D flat arpeggio there. And he's just adding stuff into it. You don't have to look at this, though. You could approach it from the point of view of the 2 chord, which is the E flat there. So if you didn't want to do that and you want to do something a little bit simpler, you could approach it from the point of view of D flat major pentatonic, which, as we know, is the same as B flat minor pentatonic. So in my example, which we'll see in a bit, I actually don't really look too much at the E flat minor 9 to A flat 13. I'm literally just playing some blues licks in the major scale, so some major pentatonic licks. The one thing that I do bring out, though, is the 3rd in the 5 chord on the A flat, so that's the C there. So you might want to do that as well. Just, you know, if you're kind of looking at the approach that I take, which is the major pentatonic, then you might want to just outline that one there just a little bit, just add some sophistication. In the next bar, we've got Wes using a D minor arpeggio. So this is the 2/5 in C major, so using D minor going to G7, so in this case D minor 9 to G13. So Wes is using a straight D minor arpeggio and then adding in the part of the G7 arpeggio. So here's those 2 arpeggios here now. And then in the last bar, he doesn't really use any arpeggios. It's more of a scale. So he's using really the F Mixolydian scale, which is this. Again, if you didn't want to do that and you wanted to add a different approach to it, if you'd set something up already with a descending idea, you could just do the same thing using the C sharp arpeggio here, the C sharp minor arpeggio, minor 7, which is this. So, as always, bringing it all together, here is my approach to these 4 bars using some of Wes's ideas and some of my alternatives I just presented too. Here we go. Let's take a look at the last 4 bars. Here we go. Okay, so these last 4 bars here, we go to the 2 chord of the whole thing, which is B flat, and then we have a quick 2/5, and then to the 1, and then you've got the turnaround after that. which the turnaround is on the D flat and then going to the G flat major 7 or F sharp major 7, going to F. So it's almost like he's doing a 6-2-5-1 thing, but he's substituting instead, which is very Coltrane. It's very Coltrane substitutions there. Have a look back at episode 1 if you want an explanation harmonically of that stuff. So the approach that you can take a look at here, what again he's doing is he's taking some of the arpeggios and he's looking at going a semitone below. So you've got all of that stuff here. All of that stuff there is literally just the C minor arpeggio, and he's just approaching it from semitone below. So it looks really complex, but it's really not. So you've got that. And then in the next bar, the thing that I really want to take a look at is this triplet idea. Really tricky. It's a very quick triplet slide going up from the 9th up to the 4th. So you've got D going up to F there, and that's over the top of the C minor. So here's an exercise for working on that idea, because it does require you to be quite rigid with your left hand to make sure that one of your fingers doesn't drag and stay on the previous fret. And also you need to be pushing down really hard to make sure that those notes do sound there as well. So here's an exercise on doing that. The other thing to think about as well is, kind of joining some of this stuff together to make sure that you've got some nice smooth transitions as well. When you've got two chords in the same bar and you want to reference both of them, it's quite tricky to do that at high speed. So I would always say to pick one or the other. But if you don't want to do that, then you can do this exercise, which basically is joining your arpeggios together musically. So it's looking for the nearest, so that's my 2 chord there. It's looking for the nearest note that is in the next chord. So rather than going for C minor and then I'm going to F and I'm going to go jump here to the C, which is a tone away, it's perfectly valid, it works, but we've got a third here, a semitone away, so that's nearer, so melodically that makes more sense. Okay, here's the idea. The idea, you can take this all over the fretboard. Or so just try it in lots and lots of different places, making sure that you find the nearest chord tone for the next chord rather than jumping a million miles away, and that makes things a little bit more melodic. As always, here is an example of me using these techniques, but with my own lines. Here we go. Okay, thanks so much if you stayed all the way to the end of this video. Again, if you want to get the backing track and the transcription and all of the chord scale arpeggio and example packs, then the link is here, patreon.com/extra guitar lessons. It's there and also in the show notes below. Buy me a coffee if you so wish and you don't want to do a subscription. And don't forget to like and subscribe and drop me a comment. Next week, we'll be moving on to the next chorus in the solo. So that'll be chorus 7. So I will see you in episode 8. Have a lovely week. Bye.